Good evening, friends. Hope you all are safe. Your host for today's webinar, Chapter 6, Season 2, Rayat and Bahra Connect, Amit Singh Atwal, live from Rayat and Bahra University, Mohali campus. Welcome, colleagues, my friends, students. Today we are going to discuss on a unique topic and about the career opportunity in media and entertainment industry post COVID-19. For this, with me, my academic partner with Rayat and Bara University academic partner, C. Medu, team will be with me. Before starting, I will tell you C. Medu School is from Pune. The school offers specialized programs in the fields of filmmaking, photography, BSc sound engineering, BCA, game software development. These all courses we are running at the Rayat and Bara University campus, Mohali, with C. Matthew. And to discuss this topic, career opportunities in media and entertainment industry post-COVID, with me, Mr. Sameer Talwalkar. Sameer is a creative producer of 18 years of experience in media and entertainment field. He has produced feature films, televisions, and specialization in advertising. He has worked extensively in Australia, India, Sri Lanka, Singapore. He produced more than 200 ad films, 6 feature films, and outputted more than 1,000 hours of television programs. Welcome, Sameer.
Thank you very much, Amit ji.
And with the Sameer ji, his colleague, Mr. Puneet, Miss Mansi Rao, Mr. Anirudh is with me. I will just share about the profiles of Mr. Puneet. Puneet is a sound engineering, head the School of Engineering Department at CMEDU. Hello, Puneet.
Hi.
And Miss Mansi Rao, who is a professional photographer and head photography department at CMEDU. Hello, Mansi.
Hello, Amitji. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. And Mr. Anirudh is in game design and development, also head the game design and development department at CMEDU. Welcome to CMEDU team.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
And before starting this, I request Sameer, if you can just brief my viewers about CMEDU and the different programs you are running at Rayat and Bara University Mohali campus.
Okay. So hello everyone, and thanks Amit ji for the introduction. At CMEDU, we have programs in filmmaking, game design and development, photography, sound engineering, and journalism. So we run all these programs with RBU, where we have started this model called the seamless blended model, where all the faculties from all our centers basically impart knowledge to the students at the Mohali campus. And basically, because we work in different industries, like I've worked internationally, everyone else also has worked internationally as well as in different parts of India, this culminative knowledge sort of is imparted to the students of the Mohali campus. So, and as far as the feedback goes, the students have thoroughly enjoyed our courses. So this, along with the theory, we also have, we have found ways to uh, impart practical knowledge and do practical submissions, with virtual shootings and remote productions in all departments, basically, not just in film, in photography, in game, in sound as well. So we are going to talk about that more as we go along in this webinar. And before we start the webinar, I just request everyone to keep their audio on mute. And there'll be a question and answer session in the end where you can ask questions and we'll hopefully answer all of them. So just to start, as Amitji said, that I hope you are all staying safe. It's a new reality which we are facing, which we call the COVID reality. And as COVID has affected many sectors. It has affected, travel, food, finance. I mean, if you ask yourself, do you travel as much as you used to travel? And the answer is no. हम इतना जा नहीं पा रहे हैं इधर उधर, and we just probably stuck where we are. We have to take out e-passes and e-permits, and it's just a pain, and that's the reality of it. We can't really go out to restaurants and eat our favorite food. All the other sectors, finance, real estate, everything is hit because the cash flow is less. We all experience that. We can no longer go out to events that we used to. So lights have definitely gone out on the events sector. And automobiles, I mean, this is all connected. Finance, I mean, we can't really buy as much as we used to. Now, it begs the very natural question, which simply means that if you are a student who is about to pursue their career and their studies, then maybe selecting a career in these sectors might be a challenge. Because these sectors might take a few years, a couple of years to recover. So again, that leads us to another very organic question: is there a sector which is least affected? कौन सा ये sector है which is still going strong, and that sector is media and entertainment? And the answers are actually pretty simple, and the reason is uh, it is least impacted by COVID. It was going it in 2019. It actually grew. It was growing at 11.5%. Now, I promise you that this webinar is not about statistics and everything, but just to give you a perspective, these numbers are very important. Sound, VFX, gaming, and animation have already adapted to remote working. Film and photography are adapting to remote productions. Now you can see that we have highlighted remote over here, and that is something which is a very important keyword which we are going to speak about in the coming time. So what is the reason? I mean, if all the other sectors are affected, why is M&E so special? Why is it not as affected as the other sectors? And the reason is simple: people are consuming more content sitting at home. I mean, you can ask yourself, how much have you binge watched Netflix or Amazon or Z5 in the last few months? Online gaming, animation, again, radio, films, web series, short films, and YouTube videos, they are giving comfort and providing entertainment to people in these times. And the demand has actually surged by almost 6%. Now, as we go along in this webinar, you'll realize that all the sectors, they have, the demand for these kind of sectors have gone up between 4 to 6 times, which is a huge surge. And these are the things which give us comfort in these times. I mean, if you're bored or if you are isolated, the first thing you do is you put on your OTT platform and you see your favorite series, or you try and find new series. So which is the reason why the demand naturally has gone up in these times. Let's take a historical perspective. Okay, whenever there's a social crisis, the population always falls back on artists and their creations to get through difficult times, which is why countries or cultures that have gone through struggles have always produced some of the most creative works. It's ironical because wherever there is struggle, there is good stories, there is good work of art. I mean, अगर आप खुद का example ले लो तो आप think about it. If you have asked your grandparents, or if you have ever talked to your grandparents who have gone through the terrible times of partition or whatever, they will always tell you that they took recourse in stories, they listened to music, they watched films which were very relevant to the times. So this helps people. Historically, it has helped people and societies to cope up with difficult times, and we are going through a difficult time now. So which is why there is an opportunity to this, and the opportunity is, for the first time, the consumption is faster than producing the production of content. It usually takes, now let's take an example. It usually takes a year to produce an eight episode series, while it only takes about a week, if not less, to consume it. I mean, I myself can binge watch a series in a day or two. I can just sit 24 hours, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of you that is true. So which means that the consumption is faster, which means there is more demand to produce new things. But there's a challenge because we can't shoot as much as we used to, but there's a way around it. COVID shut down all productions between March and June. The audience is keen on exploring hidden gems that haven't been seen before. The inventory has become important. अभी देख लो. I mean, for example, music videos or whatever. We like to consume them all the time. We like to see, if Diljit Dosanjh has put out his new music video or Malkeet Singh has put his new music video, and the productions were shut down, so it didn't happen. But now there's people have found a way around it. Now let's speak about the specializations within the media and entertainment sector, like a film and TV production. Anirudh will talk about games. Mansi will talk about photography. Puneet will talk about sound. Now, since I am the head of film at CMEDU, let's go through how the film, television, and advertising production has been affected. This is an opportunity, definitely, for content creators to collaborate creatively in a remote fashion and find innovative methods and techniques for production. Social distancing and minimal crew is the norm of the day in film, TV, and advertising productions. And remote shoots with the help of QTake are being executed globally. Now, social distancing obviously is very important, and the amount of shoots that we do here at CMedu, RBU, as well as our independent productions. Earlier, there used to be 100, for example, 100 people on set. Now, there are 40 or 50 people maximum, which means that people have to multitask and people have to gain new skills basically in this. So which is why we keep telling students over here that, okay, you want to specialize in cinematography, or you want to become an AD, you want to eventually become a director. Having said that, pick up some more peripheral skills, because there are going to be lesser people on the set, even though there are going to be more productions. But on each production there are going to be lesser people, and you need to be more you need to be a multitasker basically. uh, Coming to QTakes. Now, QTake is a system. It's actually an app where directors no longer have to go on location to shoot. COVID, sometimes it doesn't, it's not allowed to go and shoot. For example, if I want to shoot in Himachal, and the government over there says that no, there's no fly policy, you can no longer be there, but my crew is sitting there and I am the director. So QTake is a system where I can actually just download it on my laptop or even my mobile phone, and I can actually see the camera viewfinder through it. So there's a adapter which I attach to my camera over there. I see this here. I set up a 360-degree camera on my set, which is a BTS camera, and then we see what's happening on set. But at the same time, I can, as a director, can see exactly how my shot is, and I can actually talk through it. I can talk to my actors on set. I can talk to my AD, and shoots are happening like this. We have done a couple of shoots like this in Thailand recently. I did my last ad campaign was with a client called Unilever. So we were based out of Singapore, but the shoot happened in 3 countries. It happened in UK, it happened in Philippines, and it happened in Indonesia. Sorry, 4 countries, and Bangkok, Thailand as well. And the director was sitting in Australia, and he was just directing, looking at the QTake, and we did the films. We executed 4 films. So the examples are in front of us. So all these things you need to be update yourself with, because this is the new COVID reality. A lot of films are repurposed and stock footages are in demand. So that's again one more thing which we keep telling students, that okay, shoot your films, but at the same time, wherever you travel or wherever you go, just keep shooting footage all the time, because stock footage libraries really need footage, and clients and brands and advertising agencies are looking for that kind of footage to repurpose the films. So if they have some stock footage with them, but they need more stock footage, they can combine this and they can make a film. A lot of these films are actually made. Nike made them, Apple made them. So that's, we are just adjusting to the new reality. So think about that as well. Now I'm going to hand over to Mansi for a bit. Mansi is our head of photography at CMedu, and she will obviously give you a lowdown about how the new COVID reality is coming about.
यस, थैंक यू समीर। सो हम लोग फ़ोटो क्यों खींचते हैं? तो एक तो हम वी वांट टू मेक मेमोरीज़। सो जैसे पहले इफ यू सॉ दैट फोटोग्राफी गॉट इंस्पायर्ड फ्रॉम पेंटिंग्स, एंड आजकल कोई भी आता है उनके पास स्मार्टफोन होता है, दे स्टार्टिंग पिक्चर्स एंड थिंक दैट दे बिकम फोटोग्राफर्स। बट अभी मुझे इस फील्ड में मोर देन 15 years हो गए हैं, एंड आई कैन टोटली से दैट photography is not just taking a phone in your hand and taking pictures. It's something as you make pictures. So there are a lot of other things like aesthetics या फिर technology which is involved in making a picture look good. So definitely at CMEDU and at Rayat Bahra, this is what we stress on. Like it's just अगर आप खुद से photography सीखते हो तो आपको ट्रायल और एरर से मिस्टेक्स करके आप सीखोगे, वेर एज अगर आप एक फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग ले लेते हो तो यू विल डेफिनेटली not do the mistakes that we as faculties or we have done in the past, but we will impart them to you, and आपका वो टाइम पीरियड शॉर्ट हो जाएगा। आप देख रहे होंगे घर पे बैठ के हम लोग वी सिट एंड वी स्कैन थ्रू माइंत्रा और वी स्कैन थ्रू फ्लिपकार्ट या फिर अमेजोन, तो वहाँ पे हम लोग एक प्रोडक्ट लेने से पहले डेफिनेटली वी सी कि वो दिखता कैसे है। सो दैट इज़ वेयर आई थिंक फोटोग्राफी plays a very major role in selection of what we want. Apart from that, weddings, hey, it's a very important part of a person or a human being's life. So definitely wedding photography is something that is a sought after career. We have fashion photography, not just garments या फिर not just selling the clothes, but high end editorial fashion shoots होते हैं। जैसे अभी समीर ने एग्जांपल दिया क्यूटेक का, there are very different brands like Vogue who have been started doing photography through remotely. Matlab, the photographer sits at his place, gets in touch with the models or the agency across the globe, maybe in Italy or Milan, and they're doing shoots like that. So definitely, COVID ki wajah se there is a lot of shift in how we actually look at the industry now, but definitely it's not going anywhere. I mean, photography is going to be a part of us till I think for many more years to come. Thanks, Amir. Over to you.
Thank you, Mansi. I hope you enjoyed that. Mansi has a lot of knowledge and information, as do our sound engineering department. And we have our head of sound department, Mr. Puneet Samtani. So he will just walk you through. Over to you, Puneet.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Sound and music have all, been going through a transition for a fair amount of time. So, when I look back to when I started back in 2003, 2004, laptops were not that big a deal. People were still had to go to studios and work. I remember when I went out looking for my first job, I was going from studio to studio with a CD in my hand and making people listen to it. And some studios in Bombay I had to literally go for days and sit there so that someone could hear my work and eventually offer a job. Things changed. Like even if I look back somewhere at 2011, 12, where I was a chief engineer in a studio, I'd already started getting work via email, and people were like, "Why don't you listen to my stuff? And if you have any job to offer me." So that transition already happened, and 2011 and 12 is when I basically started with my own home studio. And I remember there were a lot of positives and negatives. Positives obviously because you're in Bombay, तो ट्रैफिक में इतना टाइम नहीं जाता था, तो दैट वाज समथिंग गुड कि मैं 3 घंटा ट्रैवल करूँ उससे अच्छा मैं काम कर लेता हूँ 3 घंटे में. And the negative was, not everybody was okay and comfortable to work with you remotely. There's a certain segment of people which still wanted to be a part of being in the studio and all that. And then we would keep wishing, when will everybody just let us work in our own spaces and send files online? And it slowly started happening. And up till last year, there was already a lot of flow where people were accepting stuff to be done remotely. But now what this COVID situation has done is it has just accelerated the whole thing. तो अभी पहले गाड़ी अगर सेकंड गियर पे चल रही थी अभी फोर्थ पे चल रही है. So now whether you like it or not, that is the way forward. So also real estate prices in big cities like Chennai, Bombay, and all are becoming difficult. So home studios and stuff like that are already on the rise. So as such, sound and music production में इतना कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा है. You can also collaborate with filmmakers and musicians and send files. It's not like video where the file sizes are very big. अगर एक सेशन भी देखोगे आप गाने का तो it will go up to like 4 or 5 GB, which in today's internet speed is pretty manageable. मतलब so that bit is already was happening, and it's keeping on happening. Consumption, like Samir initially mentioned, it's absolutely perfect. Ask yourself how much more of music or how much more of video content you're consuming. So the more the consumption, the more the need for it, right? And it's a simple thing. Like abhi to kitne, like the other day, I went home to see my parents, and my dad is watching some regional Tamil content which is dubbed in Hindi. So the thing is, you started also consuming things which were not directly made for you, and stuff which was being made even before. So sound engineer ka job to matlab the profile is increasing. It's upon what you want to integrate as and how you want to do it. Then releasing your own music has become very easy now, with a lot of websites letting you publish it. So Punjabi music also, I know, with the hip hop and all scene, it's big, it's huge, and all that is also easy to make at home now, with iPads coming in, with better laptops, which good monitors coming in at a cheaper price point. So वो सब भी फर्क पड़ा है. And then game audio is also on the rise. When Anirudh will present to you his slide, he's gonna touch upon this. So game audio is another. I remember as a child I loved playing games, but back then there was no industry as such for gaming in India. Now at least that other revenue was there, where everybody is playing games either on the iPad or on the mobile or PS3 or on their Steam engines on their computer. So the consumption is increased, so is the demand, and the supply also is will have to be met at some point correctly. So there's a lot of scope when it comes to all that. Yeah, live concerts, I agree. Because of the lockdown, a lot of stage events were not happening. But अगर आप वो देखोगे, वो भी reinvent करना शुरू कर रहे हैं. Like last week on Friday, Sonu Nigam had his first performance in Dubai, which was a socially distance performance. So I'm sure now, as the lockdown is going to get us slightly easier, ये सब चीजें locally भी होती रहेंगी. And also live streaming concerts have started happening. So people like Book My Show and all are already taking 200 rupees and letting you in with a Zoom ticket to see the concert. So this transition has happened, and I think it will keep on happening, because we are living in a time of technology. So our job is to basically just adapt and keep doing what we are doing. The tools might be different, the knowledge base will slightly change, but I think if the passion remains, everything else will be taken care of, with obviously a lot of dedication, hard work, and focus, which there's no substitute to. Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting times ahead. So that's all I have from me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Puneet. I mean, I think, Puneet, if I'm not wrong, we are all going towards the blended model of production, of learning, of everything. Neither sometimes we will swing between a completely remote model of working to the other spectrum, and we can be in the middle, sort of, where there's a blended of both remote and live. And I think that's probably the way to go forward.
Yeah,
Is what I gathered. Excellent. Thank you for that, Puneet. So we will move towards gaming now. I'm sure everyone plays PUBG. Everyone plays all sorts of games. So our head of gaming, Anirudh Joglekar, is with us. So Anirudh, just over to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So earlier during the start point, like when Samir introduced us to the whole thing, he said this is not going to be a statistics presentation. But ऐसे है कि हम लोग को अगर गेम डेवलपमेंट है तो गेम इंडस्ट्री के अंदर जाना हो तो अपने को थोड़े से नंबर्स तो जानना बहुत जरूरी है, और ये नंबर्स बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है। ये नंबर्स अपने को ये बताती है कि ये इंडस्ट्री का, ये पूरे कोविड सिनारियो का गेम इंडस्ट्री पे कैसे इम्पैक्ट पड़ा। तो क्विकली हम लोग थोड़े नंबर्स पे जाते हैं और मैं बताता हूँ कि वो फिर कैसे हेल्प करेगा अपने को मूविंग फॉरवर्ड इन गेम इंडस्ट्री, राइट। सो इंडिया में इम्पैक्ट चालू हुआ मार्च से, लाइक लॉकडाउन वगैरह चालू हुआ मार्च से, और ये नंबर्स थोड़े ही है, दे आर वे टू मेनी नंबर्स, यू कैन फाइंड देम ऑन इंटरनेट, and this is something I came up with. Like I did some research and I found this number. So let's just go through them. No? So मार्च 1 तारीख से 21 तारीख के बीच में 41% इंक्रीज हुआ लोगों का मोबाइल के ऊपर गेम्स खेलते हुए टाइम स्पेंड करना। So generally whenever we used to see it used to be 20% time spent on games when you are looking at mobile, and then remaining time on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and all those stuff, right? But that increased to 41%. So that 41%, how that comes down to other numbers is basically on an average 21 साल का जो भी कोई भी पर्सन रहे, तो मेल और फीमेल डज नॉट मैटर, वो 2 घंटा गेम पे खर्च करते थे डेली बेसिस पे। पर वो 2 घंटे से बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉकडाउन एंड ऑल दिस सिनारियो, वो 2 घंटे से अभी 4 से 6 घंटा स्पेंड करने लगे वो लोग के मोबाइल्स पे गेम खेलने, राइट। उसके बाद अगर फेमस गेम्स की बात करें हम लोग, इंडिया में कौन से फेमस गेम्स है जिसपे टाइम स्पेंड हो रहे हैं, तो ये सब गेम्स के नाम है, थोड़े गेम्स के नाम है, और तुम लोग अगर गेम्स खेल रहे हो तुम लोग को पता ही रहेगा। लूडो किंग, पबजी, क्लैश ऑफ क्लैन, 3 पत्ती ऑनलाइन, पोकर। तो ये गेम हाईएस्ट ग्रोसिंग है, मतलब बेसिकली सबसे ज्यादा लोगों को ये गेम खेलना पसंद है जब भी वो लोग मोबाइल पे गेम्स खेलना चाहते हैं तभी। अभी अगर ये गेम्स को कॉम्पिटिटिव वे डालेंगे, क्योंकि ये सब गेम्स ऐसे कि आप अकेले नहीं खेलते हो, आप किसी के साथ खेलते हो, दीज आर मल्टीप्लेयर गेम्स, राइट। सो यू ट्राई टू हैव कॉम्पिटिशन इन बिटवीन, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द गेम लाइफ स्पैन इंक्रीजेस, राइट। सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट। सो गेमर जी करके एक ई स्पोर्ट्स प्लेटफॉर्म है, वो दिल्ली से ही है, काफी फेमस है, और काफी लोग उस पे कंपटीशन पे पार्ट लेते हैं गेम्स के। तो वो पैंडेमिक के पहले, जब भी कोविड आया था उसके पहले, उधर 12 से 15 हजार लोग हमेशा खेलते रहते थे, नहीं तो रजिस्टर किया करते थे फॉर टूर्नामेंट। पर जैसे ही पैंडेमिक आया और मार्च के बाद जब ये लोग ने प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च करना चालू किए वापस टूर्नामेंट, तो 40 से 50 हजार लोग रजिस्टर करने लग गए। नाउ द एज ग्रुप इज ह्यूज, लाइक दे फ्रॉम 12 इयर्स टू 48-49 इयर्स का एज में लोग कंपटीशन गेम खेलते हैं, ई स्पोर्ट्स के गेम्स खेलते हैं। तो और भी अगर नैरो डाउन करना है, पेटीएम का फर्स्ट गेम करके वो लोग का एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसपे वो काफी सारे गेम खिलाते थे, 3 पत्ते वगैरह जैसे, और वो इन रिटर्न रिवॉर्ड देते जो भी प्लेयर्स हैं वो लोग को। तो जो वो प्लेटफॉर्म था उसका जो यूजर बेस है, मतलब कितने लोग वो प्लेटफॉर्म यूज करते हैं, वो 200% से बढ़ गया। मतलब 200% से मतलब हर दिन उनको 75,000 न्यू यूजर्स मिल रहे थे मार्च से, और ये ट्रेंड अभी भी चल रहा है। मतलब ये डेटा अभी जुलाई तक का है, उसके बाद का डेटा आया नहीं है, पर मोर और लेस फ्रॉम 50,000 to 75,000 न्यू यूजर्स पर डे दे वर गेटिंग इट, एंड दिस इज द रियलिटी, राइट। ये नंबर्स है जो अपने को बताते हैं कि गेम इंडस्ट्री जो पहले ही काफी बड़ी थी, अभी अचानक से कितनी बड़ी होने लग गई है। Now, ये जानना क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है, इसका नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे मैं आपको बताता हूँ। समीर, कैन यू गो टू? So because of all this, right, so consumption of interactive media has increased. Now interactive media, we are all talking about media, but interactive media is something that you consume and then you give your feedback, and that becomes an interaction kind of thing, right? And those are games. That's what we call, like in simple words, games. So गेम्स का इतना कंजम्पशन बढ़ गया है कि जो हम लोग कंटेंट बनाते हैं गेम्स के लिए, वो मैच नहीं कर पा रहे जो लोगों को रिक्वायरमेंट है उससे। अभी नए नए गेम्स आते रहेंगे, नए नए चीजें आती रहेंगी, और वो भी कम पड़ेंगे अपने को, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से ग्रोथ हो रही है इंडस्ट्री की, अपने को वो मैच करना पड़ेगा। तो उसके वजह से इंडिया में ही गेम डेवलपमेंट, अभी गेम डेवलपमेंट बोलेंगे तो 4 पार्ट आते हैं उसमें, राइट? गेम डिजाइन, गेम आर्ट, गेम प्रोग्रामिंग एंड गेम साउंड। चारों दिशाओं में काफी ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट बढ़ गई है, और बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज अभी उनको चाहिए कि वो लोग अभी उनका एक ब्रांच खोले, नहीं तो उनका एक मोबाइल गेम इंडिया में लॉन्च करे, क्योंकि इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन इज वन ऑफ द यंग पॉपुलेशन में काउंट होता है, मतलब मेजोरिटी पॉपुलेशन इंडिया का यंग पॉपुलेशन है। उसके वजह से स्मार्टफोन का मार्केट एंड गेम मार्केट भी काफी ह्यूज है इंडिया में। और सेम लाइंस पे अगर हम लोग देखेंगे तो ये पूरा वर्क फ्रॉम होम सिनारियो जो हुआ था बिकॉज ऑफ लॉकडाउन, वो गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री को काफी काफी जमा है, मैं बोलूंगा, मतलब क्योंकि गेम इंडस्ट्री कम्स वेरी क्लोज टू आईटी इंडस्ट्री, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इट वाज वेरी इजी फॉर गेम डेवलपर्स, आर्टिस्ट, designers to adopt to this work from home scenario. They just need to have a good setup, computer setup at their home, and that's done. और क्योंकि ये हम लोग ने एक्चुअली रियल टाइम में टेस्ट किया और लोगों ने सबने अपने घर से काम करना चालू किया, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी जैसे ईए गेम्स हो गई, नहीं तो फिर यूबीसॉफ्ट हो गई, ये बड़े बड़े कंपनीज जो इंडिया में बड़ा ब्रांच ओपन करने से डरते थे, वो इधर से सिर्फ आउटसोर्स करवाना चाहते थे, वो भी अभी इंडिया में टैलेंट ढूंढना चालू कर दिया है, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि अभी हम लोग को बुलाना नहीं है उनको, वो उनके खुद के घर से ही काम कर सकते हैं और हम लोग को जो भी अपना नीड है वो कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं। और उसके वजह से अभी बड़े कंपनीज भी इंडिया में टैलेंट ढूंढना चालू कर रहे हैं। एंड I can say India mein we have lot of talent. Like, we have lot of people who can do all of these things, right? It's all about exposure. It's all about you getting to know this industry and getting knowledge from someone who knows about the industry. That's all, right? So ये है situation game development, game department after COVID. Yeah, Samit. Thanks.
Excellent. Anirudh. So, in fact, Anirudh, before we go ahead, I have a quick question. I know the students should be asking the questions, but actually, this COVID reality, this COVID thing has actually been a boon to gaming industry. I mean, the working model hasn't really changed. You guys used to work remotely anyway, but now the
Right.
consumption has and the demand has increased so much that the industry is actually growing in this situation.
Correct. So yeah, the answer is very simple, right? Because the malls are not there, movie theaters are not there, right? How much time you are going to spend in front of your TV and watch Netflix and other shows, right? At some point, you will try to interact with your friends. Now you cannot go out and play cricket, or you cannot go and have some drinks with your friends. Like, you cannot do that. So easiest way to interact with your friends is through some medium. And how can interaction be more simpler than games, right? You can just call your 3 best friends, tell them, okay, headphones लगा लो, हम लोग PUBG खेलते हैं, और 4 जन हम लोग बात करते करते PUBG खेल रहे हैं। अभी we don't care if we are dying or we are winning in the game. We just care that 4 of us are talking random things and we are playing the game together, right? So interaction has increased. So because of this whole social distancing part, we are finding out the new way of interacting with our friends, and that is games, and that's why the boom has increased. Now even elders are started playing few games because they keep looking at their grandsons or the baki sons वगैरह to playing the game, and they're like, मेरे को भी दिखाओ, मेरे को भी try करना. And that because of that the boom has started. Like even the consumption has started drastically.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Anirudh, very much for your time.
No problem.
And so we'll move on to animation and VFX. This is also industry which is growing exponentially. So in this, Anirudh, do you want to just walk us through, or I'm sorry, I think we lost Anirudh probably over there. So I'll just give you a lowdown on the animation and VFX industry. So again, animation and VFX, it takes longer to produce, which means more animation and games content needs to be produced simultaneously to match the surge in consumption. So if you would have realized that this pattern has been similar, across all the specializations in the M&E sector, that consumption बढ़ गया है, demand बढ़ गया है. So the production also has to match to it, the amount, the rate of production of it. As we talked before, due to the lack of filming, the filming was almost shut down. A lot of old content is repurposed and updated. Now, if any one of you has followed the beer commercial of Heineken, there's this famous campaign called "What's Up," and that campaign became such a hit in, I think it was 98 or 99, and now they have repurposed and they have taken the same footage and they have changed the lip sync in VFX. So they have the lip movement, they have changed in VFX, and obviously they have changed the audio to match the new COVID. So the dialogue, they've put relevant dialogue to the COVID reality, and it just works wonderfully. So all these kind of creative things are also happening at the same time. So in the current scenario, there is an opportunity to promote services for healthcare, IT, technology, banking industries with the help of animation. Now, animation, if you think of animation, suddenly animation films come to your mind, but animation actually serves a bigger purpose. I mean, in product demo videos, training videos, marketing videos, process explainer videos, they are in high demand. If you are in the marketing and advertising space, a lot of the clients are asking for this, and people like Puneet said and like Anirudh said that they've set up home studios and they are servicing this from their own bedrooms. I mean, job opportunities in AR, VR, which is augmented reality and virtual reality, e-learning, industrial animation. These things are also happening remotely, and they are, again, this. If we speak about each, type of video, it'll take us a few hours. So the industry is huge. The growth is huge, and hence the opportunity is huge. So now, since we have gone through all the specializations, we'll talk about the execution and delivery. That okay, how does this actually pan out? Log ye execute kaise karte hain? How does it become a reality? Again, we have spoken about this. Remote shoots have become a norm. Systems like QTake are taking precedence in ad, film, and photography productions. Social distancing are maintained during productions at all times, and game animation, VFX, music content is already produced remotely. So this sector probably isn't affected that much in terms of way of working, but obviously people used to come together at least in a studio. Now they are at separate locations. Technology is easily accessible as compared to before. Artists, producers across moving image, gaming, animation, VFX, sound, and music industries have the right tools at their fingertips through which they are collaborating and creating content remotely. I mean, like Puneet said, that during our times we used to go to studios. I once stood outside a studio for 7 hours with my DVD just to show them my work. Now you have technology, and all of you are probably way ahead than us in technology. You know how to operate things, tools, apps, which were not available 10, 15 years ago. So you have that, and it's best to use that to your advantage, and this is the right time, basically. So, in short, whatever we have spoken, remote working has given artists and producers the freedom to work independently without distractions. I would, however, qualify that. Remote working का मतलब ये नहीं है कि सब अभी remote होने वाला है. People are still collaborating. They are still meeting with precautions. So, 100% remote, 100% in person. There's always going to be a blended way. So blended way of working is taking precedence. This is obviously a boon for the entire media industry, as in everyone, Amansi, Anirudh, Puneet, everyone has spoken, and the one common thread in that is key. There's an opportunity. The industry is growing, so that's one common good thing about this. Now this is very important, how to position yourself. ये जो सब हो रहा है उसमें आप खुद को कैसे पोजीशन करेंगे, कैसे सेल करेंगे, how to make yourself, how to market yourself the best in this. For that, you have to do a few things, and these are our suggestions. You have to choose the right profession. As in, हमने शुरुआत में बात की थी कि there are some sectors which are like banking and automobile and all these kind of sectors. Probably a career in this might be a little risky right now. So choose the right profession. For example, media and entertainment is something which is booming right now. Learn how to leverage remote working. I think you guys already are savvy with technology, so you have that covered. You just have to apply that. keep up to date with technology as it has taken precedence. Again, we have spoken about this, so let's move on. And be innovative. This is one thing which has been, ये जो principle है, it's true for any age. पहले टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी नहीं थी, अभी टेक्नोलॉजी है, but the one thing which has remained common is anyone who has innovated new ideas and new ways of working has always survived. तो आप इनोवेशन पे ध्यान दीजिए, आप इनोवेशन को टाइम दीजिए, अपना इनोवेशन अपना क्रिएटिविटी डेवलप करने के लिए, बिकॉज most of us give time in learning the tools, which is not a wrong thing to do, which is absolutely the right thing to do. But हमको लगता है कि tools ही सब कुछ है. But along with the tools, it is important to develop your creative muscle, be innovative, because that's what sustains us. वैसे ही आप आगे जाओगे. And how to go about it. So quick, instructional steps to you. Choose the right training ground. कहाँ पे training लेनी है. Research into which colleges, institutes have adapted to blended learning, remote and classroom with safety measures. Now, recently, RBU was lauded by the government for its safety measures and how they have adapted to the sanitization processes, the social distancing, and found a way around the situation. CMedu, again, we have the blended learning model where we follow the same kind of procedures. Just research into these kind of things. Does the institute really care about your health and your well-being? So do keep that in mind while you're researching. Check the background of teachers and whether they are industry proficient. This is very important. All of us here who are talking to you, we have worked in the industry nationally and internationally. So, background check करो उनका, LinkedIn पे check करो उनका, शोरील check करो उन्होंने क्या किया हुआ है, because that is what they are going to impart to you. All their experience, all their practical experience is going to be imparted to you, and that's the practical side of things. And see what kind of support you can get for placements. So, I think this is the most important thing कि आप सीखने के बाद आपको placements कहाँ मिलने वाली हैं. इसमें और एक मैं suggestion देना चाहूँगा कि placements जितना institution पे है उतना आप पे भी है, क्योंकि for example, I'll give my personal example that I've hired a lot of people in my life, in my career, to work on productions. और मैंने ऐसे लोगों को हायर किया है जिनके पास राइट एटीट्यूड है, दे हैव द राइट इंटेंशन. मे बी उनको सब टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में मालूम नहीं होगा या उनको सब थियोरेटिकल नॉलेज नहीं होगा, पर उनके पास वो एटीट्यूड था कि ओके, गो गेटर है, वो ये करेंगे. सो placements is a very it's a very interactive game between the institution and the student. So you have to develop that kind of attitude to be hired, and it's important in the COVID world that we live in, because you need to be a multitasker. And so simple challenges can be overcome through innovation. I think all of us have spoken about innovation. So, just be a thinker, be creative, also be a doer, and soon enough you'll be successful. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed our talk. We tried to give as much information as possible to you. So thank you again for your time. And over to you, Amitji.
Thanks, Amirji, for sharing a very informative PPT, and I appreciate Puneet, Mansi, and Anirudh, especially to Puneet, the way he said about the Netflix. I think is a big. He used to watch Netflix. He's given many examples of Netflix. क्यों
Yeah,
पुनीत जी?
I mean, we all love it
Hello.
and we all watch it.
ओके, नहीं नहीं, एक समीर जी, आपने एक जो बात कही सबसे अच्छी कही है कि राइट एटीट्यूड होना बहुत ज़रूरी है किसी भी स्टूडेंट में, आइदर वांट टू टेक एडमिशन फॉर प्लेसमेंट फॉर एनीथिंग. और जो आपने एक चीज़ और कही कि आप अपने प्रोफेसर्स को थ्रू लिंक्डइन चेक कीजिए. मैं व्यूअर्स को और जो वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि दे कैन ड्रॉप डाउन एनी टाइम टू रैत बारा यूनिवर्सिटी मोहाली कैंपस. CMedu team is always here. You can meet their HODs, the professors, so that you can see the difference from the industry, what CMedu is giving to the students in this field, है ना. और एक चीज और भी समीर जी जो आपने शुरू में कही कि अपॉर्चुनिटी कोविड पैराडेमिक शायद मीडिया इंडस्ट्री और एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री के लिए एज एन बहुत पॉजिटिव वे से आया है, और जहाँ की हम उसमें ग्रोथ रेशियोज जो आपने शेयर की काफ़ी अच्छे हैं. बट सर मैं आपसे पहला एक क्वेश्चन डिफरेंस पूछना चाहता हूँ. How your BCA is different from general BCA programs, because you are running BCA programs in sound engineering, BCA in gaming development. How is different from normal BCA program?
So for sound and game, I'll actually have Puneet and Anirudh answer that because they are the head of those departments.
Yeah. So I will
You
go.
want-
Yeah. So BCA,
Okay.
how our BCA is different than other BCA basically. So what we have done is we have taken BCA, normal BCA, and integrated the game development part in it, right? So normally you don't learn how to design games, or you don't understand how game designer thinks while they are developing games, right? We also added few elements from game art section. So in future, when you go in industry after doing our BCA, and you are sitting with a team of artists, game designers, and programmers, you should understand what these guys are talking about, what seniors are talking about, what language they are using, right? So we with BCA, it's the whole skeleton of the program is basically same as BCA, but with the addition of game and game art. So that's why our BCA is different. So
Yeah, and we have BSc in sound engineering. So basically, say I joined CMedu last year, and basically, मेरा thought process बहुत clear था with the all the people teaching with them is we wanted and to make all our things which we teach very project and assignment oriented. Because I strongly believe कि अगर आप practice करोगे नहीं वो चीज़ें बार बार, you are not really going to basically be able to execute it when somebody hires you for a job. और ऐसा नहीं है, like I often tell students that if I am a music producer, ऐसा नहीं है कि the first song I make is going to be the best song. I will have to make at least 10 or 15 songs to crack a way of making one good song. तो जितना ये 3 साल में हम लोग प्रोजेक्ट्स इंटीग्रेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ वर्कशॉप्स आल्सो व्हिच हैपेंड, एंड थैंक्स टू दिस कोविड सिचुएशन आई थिंक वन अदर थिंग वी लर्नड इज whenever a workshop happens in any campus, it gets streamed for the people also. So that is another new learning for us, and so we try and get as much as information as possible from industry professionals. Over the last year also, a lot of my friends from the industry and people I worked with, I've invited them over to come and take workshops across our campuses. And Chandigarh, it's been 1 year, but now in the coming years, we will see a lot of more activities which will start happening. So yeah, keeping it as much as possible as project oriented, and we'll try and get as many relevant people to you, and then you have to ask them the questions and pick their brains. But eventually, like आपको खुद ही करना है. Uh, all the information will be given to you, and we will tell you. But you have to commit your own mistakes and learn yourself.
Puneet
Yeah.
ji, I'm just I'm used to get the information from your team and from my team member or in admission team. We are getting a good trends towards the sound engineering program.
Right.
Okay, I request you if you can just elaborate how this sound engineering, BSc sound engineering, is really different, because I know, because if trends are coming on a better way and positive results we are seeing towards the admission part, how you see the sound engineering and why it's different? Because one criteria is also there. You know any instrument also before getting admission in sound engineering.
Correct. Uh, so see, we prefer people. See, if I want to be a music producer, अगर मैं गा नहीं सकता हूँ और मुझे म्यूजिक का कुछ नॉलेज नहीं है, then I simply just become an operator, right? So
Yes.
soon I say, like, the Alexas and the series will start doing whatever we are doing. आप उसको बोलो यहाँ से edit करें वहाँ तक वो भी कर पाएंगे. Already हो गया है वो. So how it's going to differentiate us is what we learn. So obviously, we emphasize that somebody who wants to get into music production should know an instrument because उसको सुर ताल ये सब का idea होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Because eventually, when you implement all that, also as a sound engineer and music producer, आप बहुत time composers और singers के साथ spend करते हो. So you have to understand the language they are talking also. That also makes a huge difference. And people are very smart now. They can see through things very fast. So 5 मिनट के इंटरेक्शन में पता चलता है कि किस बंदे को या बंदी को आता है या नहीं आता. So that is another thing. And yeah, then we also have people joining us for film sound and all. वहाँ expertise completely different है. There it becomes more technical. There it becomes not so music based, but if we talk about sound design and all, kitna to work in surround. So there's a lot more technically also which is required of you, and उसका skill set काफी अलग है as compared to music production. So when we scan our students, we try and understand. Also, see, a big benefit is जब we were studying, there were no really degree courses and all in India. 6 महीने के डिप्लोमा होते थे या 11 महीने के डिप्लोमा होते थे एंड जो इतना जल्दी निकल जाता था तो नाउ यू हैव 3 years to do it at your own pace and start from a very young age. Personally, I did my diploma when I was 22, and now if with this degree program coming in, you can start indulging in the world of audio and sound engineering at a very early stage. So you're talking as 17-year-old students and 18-year-old students. तो आप ऑलरेडी 3 साल पहले स्टार्ट कर रहे हो तो उतना ज़्यादा टाइम भी मिलता है आपको प्रोजेक्ट्स के साथ करने को. एंड द अदर गुड थिंग इज अमित जी, वी हैव अ फिल्म डिवीजन, we have a game division also. So a lot of these contests we do. If you ask your Chandigarh students also, I mean, a few months ago before the lockdown, we had organized a 24-hour jam with them, where हमने उनको बोला था 24 घंटे में you have to make a track and you have to make a game. So we start also giving them a real world scenario because deadlines are very critical in this industry. You cannot meet and you're always for some reason working against time. तो जितना एमुलेट कर सकते हैं हम प्रोजेक्ट्स के साथ उतना हमने कोशिश की है करने की. So yeah,
मुझे
that's
आपसे
what
अगला next question is with you only. Veena is asking, how about the career opportunities in sound engineering looking at the current situation? Puneet ji.
see career opportunities are plenty. I'll like I believe it's a perfect time to start. It's because the thing is we I had to be associated with the project to get access to the.
I request Puneet ji if you can just put your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 sir, yes, sir.
Huh. So sorry, what was the question again?
What? How about the career opportunities
Okay.
in sound
Career
engineering
opportunity.
looking at current situation?
So see, it is a very evolving field. Now, I want to ask you all personally, how many of you all thought there would be audiobooks 10 years ago? So there are stuff like audiobooks which are coming up, which is a huge market for the sound engineering industry. Also, you need a sound engineer to make those. You have content which is dubbed in regional languages of every movie and literally everything. So then see the live concerts which used to happen 10 years ago were not as many. Like if you look at the pre-lockdown, I have my friends who have basically traveled the world with different bands and all, and seen literally every country and every city wherever music was being consumed. So it's a huge thing. Only thing is, yeah, the mediums of consumption are changing, and I think that will always change. They've been changing from the day of inception. It will always change, and it will continue to change. So I don't think the opportunities are there, but again, it's a great time to start because you don't really need to be at the mercy of anybody else. You're at your own mercy, and you have to make your own contacts. And basically, if you know what you're doing, there will always be takers. Yeah, I hope that answers it.
Thanks, sir. Again,
Thank you.
question from Ms. Gayatri. Shraddha. Shraddha is asking to Anirudh. Uh, Where the gaming stand in India after the pandemic? Anirudh,
Sorry, I didn't catch you again.
where will the gaming stand in India after the pandemic?
Oh, so पैंडेमिक जो चालू हुआ था तभी मैंने जैसे पहले एक्सप्लेन किया कि ऑलरेडी गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री ऊपर जा रहा था, बूम होना चालू हो गया था. सो एज सुन एज ये सब खत्म होती है चीजें, उसके बाद द डिमांड will always, like, it won't go down drastically. It will always stay up. And now the right now we are focusing only on mobile games, right? But we have to look into other medium of games also, computer games, then console games, and all other new platforms which are coming up, AR, VR, and all those stuff. तो अगर सब कुछ देखते हैं हम लोग, तो इंडिया में डिमांड वैसे भी ग्रो होने वाला है, क्योंकि बैक इन द डे, लाइक 2-3 साल पहले हम लोग बात करते थे गेम डेवलपमेंट में ही कि इंडिया में अभी इंडस्ट्री बूम होना चालू हुआ है. और वो होते होते अचानक ये जो कोविड का सिचुएशन आया, उसकी वजह से ये पूरा किक स्टार्ट हुआ बेसिकली, लाइक इट गॉट अ बिग पुश, एंड इट विल हैव दिस मोमेंटम एटलीस्ट फॉर नेक्स्ट फ्यू इयर्स, एटलीस्ट फॉर next 10-15 years, the Indian game industry will boom. So yeah, I don't see it's going down. So अगर एक एक टाइम में बोलना हो तो बोल सकता हूँ कि कोविड के बाद भी इंडिया का सिचुएशन ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही रहेगा, कुछ चेंज नहीं होगा. उल्टा गेम्स ज्यादा खेलना चालू होंगे. नया नया जनरेशन, दे विल रिलाई मोर ऑन गेम्स, मोबाइल गेम्स एंड डिजिटल गेम्स. So yeah.
Okay. Now, there is a last question for Mansi. Mansi, we have a question. How photography freelancer can grow during this current situation?
थैंक यू अमित जी. जैसा मैंने कहा कि फोटोग्राफी अभी जिस स्टेज पे है, हम लोग ई कॉमर्स में देख रहे हैं, फोटोग्राफी है, मैगजीन्स में है, न्यूज़पेपर्स में है. इनफैक्ट अभी जो कोविड की न्यूज़ हमको आती है, वो वी ऑल्सो गेट टू सी इट बिकॉज ऑफ द फोटो जर्नलिस्ट. तो वो हो गया पेड जॉब्स विद न्यूज़पेपर्स या न्यूज़ एजेंसीज. बट फ्रीलांसर्स के लिए भी अभी मार्केट है, बिकॉज मैं और मेरे कलीग्स भी अभी वी आर डूइंग आवर ओन शूट्स. सो जैसे डिफरेंट जॉनर्स है कि फैशन फोटोग्राफी हो गया, वेडिंग फोटोग्राफी. अभी फिलहाल तो वेडिंग का सीजन आई थिंक मार्च से लेके जून तक वाज ऑन हॉल्ट. लोग इतनी शादियां नहीं कर रहे थे. But moving forward, that is going to be the basic thing of a human, bonding. तो शादियां तो रुकने नहीं वाली है. तो definitely freelancers get into wedding photography. They do maternity shoots, they do baby shoots. तो ये सारी चीजें जो हम memory बनाते हैं is going to be photography. So definitely freelancers के लिए, I mean, if that answers the questions, Gayatri, तो it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay.
I think जो मुझे समराइज हुआ आप सबसे डिस्कस करके रिगार्डिंग फोटोग्राफी, साउंड इंजीनियरिंग, गेमिंग और वीएक्सएफआई और किसी भी चीज़ को इस इंडस्ट्री, इंटायर मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री मीन्स कि this pandemic has bring a big hope to the entire media industry, and it's growing like anything. If I talk about the films in the Netflix or Amazon or the gaming part, or as you shared about the photography, I think this is a blessing in disguise for this industry in this period. What, Samir? What's your? I need a last closing point from you, Samir, on this.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a very good point, Manoj. The reason why it has brought a lot of hope into this M&E sector is because the M&E sector has shown extreme adaptability, and that's what we do over here. That if there is, because through stories we give solutions to the society, and through these kind of pandemics we give solutions through technology or through innovation. So this is the reason why the M&E sector continues to grow through pandemics and through wars and through situations, is because the adaptability and the innovation. And you're right, since the statistics show that the consumption has increased, and which is why immediately the M&E sector, or even if you look at RBU or CMEDU, we immediately adapted our models to to the remote working model, to the remote teaching model, the blended working model. This is the reason why our industry is sustaining, not just sustaining, it is growing. And you're right, I agree with you. It has brought a lot of hope. It's a blessing in disguise for our industry.
Thanks, Samir, Mansi, Anirudh, and Puneet for coming down to this webinar and sharing the entire media and entertainment industry, how it's going on, and which all courses a student can opt as for his future also. And one again, I can say you should choose your career with the right attitude. Am I true, Samir?
That's absolutely right.
Absolutely right. And I request my prospective students and interested students, you come down to Rayat Bahra University Mohali campus, meet the faculties, your would-be faculties, one to one, see, check their credentials, and then decide to choose which all course you want to be, and for the future also. Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Mansi, Anirudh, and Puneet. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having
Bye.
us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
You're
great
watching this webinar with the career opportunities with media and entertainment industry post COVID. And with me is entire CMEDU team, including Mr. Samir, who is a renowned name in the industry, and entire team. And with this, we are closing this webinar. Today's chapter 6 we are closing. And I think my viewers, students, and colleagues has definitely received their answers and regarding this media industry and the courses what Rayat Bara University and CMEDU collaboratively running at Mohali campus. I request everybody, the interested one, to come down to our campus, meet the CMEDU team with Rayat Bara infrastructure. Thanks everyone. Stay safe, enjoy, and we will coming up on 29th with our seventh webinar on season 2 with our alumni from different corporates from MBA and BTech, and we will share the timings soon with you. Thanks everyone. Stay tuned. Stay safe.